going to go to line 1. Let's see. I think this is Bob on line 1. Oh, hi, you're on the air.
Hello, Atheist. How are you guys?
We are fine. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I just had a quick question. How do you account for the gap in our evolution? There's a period of 50,000 years where our brain grows at such an incredible amount that it's inconsistent with the evolution of the Cro-Magnon and the species previous to human. How do you account for that?
Okay, well, I'm not a biologist, so I'm not the guy that you need to be asking to account for it. I assume that...
well, what I'm saying is that you can't account for it. That's a rhetorical question, kind of. You
yeah,
really
so I assume that...
Well, we don't have a solid, skull we can rub and say, here's one at 25,000 years in that period. Yeah. And, show a record, of every single one in between.
But I assume that the point of your question is that you are attempting to imply that if we can't account for it through evolutionary processes, then that must mean that some god or intelligent designer is responsible.
Oh, no. You got me all wrong. I'm
just checking.
Not Christian at all.
Okay, I'm just checking. I just wanted to clarify what your position was.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually have a valid argument. So
no. Okay, well that's fine then. Good. Just wanted to. There's the best source that I have. I'm just going to let you know right now. Ashley and I aren't scientists. We don't pretend to be the experts on biology or evolution. The best source that I've found, at least online, for general readers, just members of the general public, to answer some of these questions is right there at the bottom of your screen. So maybe you'll find an explanation for this 50,000 year gap. I haven't actually heard that figure before, but hang on, we're getting
what I say.
Okay.
There is a hominid evolution page on there.
There's a hominid evolution page on the talkorigins.org website. I'm getting prompted by our producer here.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
It's got some very complete sort of gradation of skulls.
Okay, all right. So there's
it's fairly consistent, but that's why this is still a theory of evolution. I mean,
This is one thing that's very important to clarify, right? Is that what many creationists don't understand, and if you have creationists that you're arguing with, and they will try to put forth this whole notion that, oh, well, if evolution leaves unanswered questions, then that means it's inadequate as an explanation, and we have to discard it. But the point is, every scientific field will have gaps, and will have questions that it leaves unanswered, because guess what? We don't know everything about everything. And so we know that there are gaps in the fossil record. That's why the whole scientific method is an ongoing method of investigation. We're still learning stuff. We may discover stuff next month that completely makes us rewrite everything we know about the process. It happened a couple of years ago with some recent Hubble observations of the universe that have caused astrophysicists to have to rethink a lot of what were some very basic theories about the science of just the universe. So this will happen. But apparently there are. What you're talking about, I think, is a common creationist bugaboo, which is they always want to point out things like, where are all the transitional forms? We don't have transitional forms.
I'm not a creationist.
Oh, okay.
I believe in intelligent design. I do believe that aliens seeded this planet, and we are a hybrid species. And there is significant evidence to prove this, because we did not emerge. Mesopotamia was not the origin of civilization.
Well,
we had civilizations in Atlantis and Lemuria in the Atlantic and Pacific.
And what's your evidence for Atlantis?
There's physical evidence for Lemuria, and Plato, documented Atlantis extensively.
Yeah, he made it up.
No, he didn't make it up.
Plato made it. He made it up. It was his ideal communist city.
I assure you, he didn't make it up.
Okay, well then, if you have assurance, I'd love to see your physical evidence.
They've been trying to find it for a long time.
I mean, where's it located? First off, where are the ruins of Atlantis?
In the middle of the Atlantic, where the Azores, the Azore Islands are. The Azores were part of Atlantis.
Okay, and do we have ruins? Do we have old building remnants?
Well, there are ruins for Lemuria, actually, which is off the coast of Japan. They have found. Yes, absolutely. I saw it on the History Channel just the other day, actually.
Ah, the History Channel. Well, that explains it. Go ahead. Where are the
Okay, all right. Yeah, History Channel isn't solid fact, but who are you gonna? You got to believe somebody, right? Obviously, you believe.
Well, no. I mean, you don't just see, here's how it works, right? Okay, it's a lot. There are a lot of theories, and a lot of people will have ideas. Let's say about a particular historical event, right? And some people will bring an agenda to the table.
Yeah.
And what you do is it's not just as simple as, well, you've got to believe somebody. What you have to believe is what the strongest evidence shows. Now, I understand that you think we have very strong evidence for Atlantis and Lemuria. That's fine. What I'm wondering is why this opinion of the strength of this evidence isn't shared by the bulk of historians or anthropologists or archaeologists. I have to look at the preponderance of what archaeologists are saying about the ancient world, and I'm not seeing in all of the literature a majority opinion
to suppress such knowledge.
Why would they suppress it? Why is it so important to suppress Atlantis when they're not suppressing Mohenjo-Daro, when they're not suppressing all the ancient sites in Turkey and in Africa? Why is it so important? Oh no, there's this kingdom Atlantis. There's something about this. There's something about this set of
civilization. I mean,
but why? I mean, why would they suppress one set of ruins when they don't feel a need to suppress the others? Why wouldn't they suppress Egypt?
These are very crucial because it explains the history of our, how power on this planet came to be in the first place.
What power?
If you want to get into the Round Table Network and the Illuminati, I could get into that, but I'd rather not.
Yeah.
But basically, the point is there is a period of 50,000 years where our brains grew at such a high increase, and motor and mechanical skills increased to such a degree that they're completely inconsistent. It couldn't have happened in 50,000 years. I believe in evolution personally, but I do.
But you think we got a nudge from space aliens?
Well, absolutely, yes.
Okay. So where are they now? The space aliens who gave us this advantage in our brains. Why did they? So a group of aliens flew here from a distant star, essentially giving up their own lives to do this. They came to this planet. They colonized originally. Okay, and original colonists. And to do this, and so they left. Why did they leave their original planet?
Well, Earth is a project. There were several species that came to Earth. Okay. And we are a hybrid. We're not just we were genetically engineered from the primates that you believe that we evolved from.
But why would they do this? What was the impetus to? Why would they need to genetically engineer us if they came here to colonize our planet? Why didn't they just come in, set up shop, and move in? Why did they need to turn the primates into people?
There were warring factions on this planet.
I see.
That's why they destroyed those islands in the Atlantis and Lemuria were destroyed.
Okay.
So that was an alien war that destroyed them?
That's absolutely right, actually.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the physical evidence of colonies on Mars?
No, I'm not, because quite frankly, Bob, there isn't any. Yeah. I have to go ahead. We have a lot of callers on the line, so listen, I don't mean to be an impolite guy, but I just think, I think that, I think you've let your imagination run away with you on this one. There's no evidence for any of this stuff.
There is significant evidence, actually. David Icke writes all about it. All I'm saying is, you've got the skepticism as a virtue. All I'm saying is, you have to be skeptical of both sides, correct? To truly achieve the most,
but the problem is the arguments that you're making. Pretty much none of the evidence.
Yeah,
if there was
no evidence backing
it up. If the preponderance of evidence in the field was out there supporting the stories that you're telling us, we would be seeing that. Okay, we would be seeing that in the major texts, in the peer-reviewed journals. Okay, we would be seeing reports.
Because these people are suppressing this knowledge.
Why would they suppress it?
Why? What reason do they have?
What is the reason to suppress knowledge? Why?
Because if people in control
control of what? Okay, what is it about? What is it about human beings that needs to be controlled, that finding out there were buildings on Mars would throw off balance? Because what would finding out that there was an ancient civilization called Atlantis do to threaten somebody's control? What would finding out that there were space aliens do to threaten somebody? What control is it that they specifically want that would be threatened by people knowing that there was a place called Lemuria?
The church would topple if this information came out. Church is one of their units of control.
It's the church that's suppressing this information. Fine. Well, what about the scientific community?
The church is an appendage of the greater power. You see, they cover both aspects. They can cover. They're marketing towards Christians and they're marketing towards atheists.
Science kind of gets off on itself when it can prove other scientists wrong.
Yeah.
If there was actually a scientist out there saying, "I have good, solid evidence for Atlantis," or or aliens propagating the Earth, something like that, they would make a killing. It would be great for their career if they could actually put out evidence for it. It's a real thing.
Do you have any idea how much?
There is none.
Do you have any idea how much money would be pumped into the space program right now if we actually found a ruined city on Mars?
Well,
every single.
We would be there next week.
Yeah, we would be launching a flight to Mars like tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. There would be a spacecraft being built specifically to take astronauts.
We already have bases on Mars, and NASA is a front for the greater technology we already have.
Bob, I can assure you that I think you're a fantasy-prone individual who has just allowed your imagination to completely run away with you. I'm sorry to say that because I know that sounds like an impolite statement, but
well, then how do you account for the 50,000, the period of 50,000 years where our brain grows?
Fossils are hard to make.
Hang on, based upon what you've said about other aspects of the human history, I don't even know now that I trust you when you say there's a 50,000-year gap. Quite frankly, we appreciate your call. We got to go on to our next caller. We're running out of time. Okay.
Wow.
This is what happens, right, when you have... this is why we need Mark Loeys.
No, Mark, please help us.
Yes. This is why we fight so hard to have stronger education. Look, here's the point of it, okay? There is no sense in suggesting that if some amazing scientific discovery were made, like a ruined city on Mars or at the bottom of the ocean, okay, why that would be suppressed. First off, you would have somebody, okay, some scientists would get to claim the headline.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would have the discoverer being the guy who is the household word around the world.
Yeah.
Say, like what happened with Carter. When Carter discovered King Tut's tomb.
Yeah.
Okay, the guy who discovered this was the greatest archaeological treasure of its day. Did he suppress it?
Yeah, because it's going to overthrow some kind of,
you have no guys.
Illuminati.
Oh no, I'm a scientist. My entire career rests on discovering amazing things.
Yes.
I discovered an amazing thing, but I can't tell anyone because that would threaten someone else's power. Uh-oh. People, come on, common sense. You know, this just the irrationalism that takes over when you allow these fantastic ideas to sort of take hold in your brain because it's neat to think that there's aliens and spaceships and stuff going on. And oh, I see. I think we have some people calling us up who have a word or two to say about this. But you know, it just makes no sense. Okay, to say that fantastic discoveries have to be. Yeah, there are all these fantastic discoveries, but they discovered these ruins, but they have to be suppressed. Well, why didn't they suppress ancient Greece?
And if there were some kind of great, alien war on this planet thousands of years ago, I think there would be some evidence on that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you can't suppress.
Yeah.
We can find, we can find cities and trees that are buried in the mud.
You look at the writings of guys like Graham Hancock. In fact, it's a whole new area of pseudoscience, which is pseudo-history. Okay, you look at these guys like Graham Hancock, Eric von Daniken, Zachariah Sitchin, all these people, and you read their books, and they sound very authoritative because they use a lot of attractive scientific-sounding jargon.
Big words.
And they're good storytellers. They're good writers. That's why their books connect with the public. But you're looking through their books, and you're constantly saying, "Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence?" And you just don't get any. And people who actually go out to these locations and they try to find stuff don't find anything.
Yeah.
They just don't find things, okay? I'm sorry, there are no ruined temples in the Azores Islands, okay? And that big face on Mars, okay, is a hill. You can find a high-resolution photograph of it now from the Mars Global Surveyor. It's just a big hill.
Big pile of rocks.
And that little area that looks like pyramids nearby, that's more little mountains. That's more hills, okay? It's
Life can play tricks.
It's people seeing what they want to see.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of big, scary men in my bedroom at night, in the corner with a big knife ready to stab me and stuff like that. Light does weird things.
Does this happen often?
Shut up, Martin. When you have very low-resolution pictures taken of other planets, you're going to see weird things once in a while.
But this whole thing of this is why critical thinking is so important, right? It's not just you've got to believe somebody, and quite frankly, the History Channel, no, I don't trust them anymore because I have seen that for the sake of ratings, History Channel is a television network. They want ratings, and they have I used to really like them. About 3 years ago, I was really a big fan of the History Channel. I have seen that lately they have become more and more enamored of pandering and catering to pseudoscience. They have entire histories, they have entire series now about ghosts and about UFO encounters and stuff like this.
On the History Channel?
On the History Channel, right.
Wow, okay.
You would think they might have this on the Sci-Fi Channel, but no. But
comedy.
So if you want good history, you got to watch the Discovery Civilization Channel. That's where to get good history programming. But it's they're a business, right? It's the same argument that was put forth when von Daniken was publishing his books, and Carl Sagan and people like that were out there basically saying this guy's full of hooey. There's absolutely nothing to back up his claims. A lot of the people in the public, their immediate reaction was, well, why would they publish it if it wasn't true? They wouldn't publish it if it wasn't true. Bull. Okay, publishing companies are businesses, and they're there to make money. Okay,
and apparently these people are buying that.
And if you can have a #1 New York Times bestseller with a person claiming to have been visited by aliens, or claiming to have found ruins off of Japan that no one else can find, or by claiming that they talked to the dead, or that they have been dead and come back and talked to God and had a chat and seen crystal cities, if you can sell books, publishers want to sell books. Okay, so I'm sorry, and I know it seems some of our viewers are probably, who are on our side of this, are probably thinking, Martin, you're being kind of nice and tolerant of these guys who are calling. Look, it's
a good day.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's just fun to hear what they have to say.